Hello and welcome to our millions of viewers here in Nigeria, the continent, and all around the world. This is Lunchtime Politics, where we get to dissect and analyze some of the biggest stories happening and events happening at the moment. I am Kelly Egiga. Well, it's a big day in Nigeria's security architecture. That's because we understand that the newly nominated chiefs have arrived at the premises of the National Assembly. We understand they are there, and that screening will take place 80 moments from now. The Senate, we understand, will screen and possibly confirm the newly appointed service chiefs nominated by President Bola Tinubu as part of ongoing efforts to revamp the nation's security architecture. Then the service chiefs will be decorated and sworn in after the approval by the Senate. The Senate President, in a letter from the President, which was read during Tuesday's plenary by the Senate President, he is urging lawmakers to give, quote, expeditious consideration to the nominees. Perhaps we can remind you of some of these names again and pictures so you understand. We do have new sheriffs in town. The President named General Olufemi Oluyede as the Chief of Defense Staff, Major General Waidi Shaibu as the Chief of Army Staff, Rear Admiral Idi Abbas as the Chief of Naval Staff, Air Vice Marshal Kennedy Aneke as the Chief of Air Staff, and Major General Emmanuel Odiyandeye as the Chief of Defense Intelligence. So these are images from the National Assembly just a moment ago. We'll bring you up to speed as developments unfold right there, where we understand these newly appointed service chiefs have only just arrived the premises of the National Assembly. They are set to be screened and possibly confirmed today. If they are confirmed today by the Senate, Nigerians, these service chiefs will be decorated and sworn in by Mr. President. Well, the development, of course, we understand this development is not perhaps unconnected with some other rumors. Some people have said that there was some sort of rumors around attempted coup, and that's why there's this need for a change. Some people say no, it's simply because we need to revamp our security architecture. Architecture is 2 years down the line. Perhaps we need some new blood. Some have argued. Let me also remind you, our viewers, that the President actually had a meeting with the newly appointed service chiefs yesterday. It's the first time the President was having to meet with the newly appointed service chiefs. That meeting holding right there at the State House yesterday. And the President has also expressed appreciation to the immediate past Chief of Defense Staff, General Christopher Musa, and other retired officers for their patriotic service and dedicated leadership. The President also, in that meeting yesterday, he had to charge the new appointees to justify the confidence reposed in them by upholding professionalism, vigilance, and unity within the armed forces. So there you go. Our viewers, we're bringing you up to speed with these latest developments ongoing right there in the nation's capital, where the newly appointed service chiefs have arrived at the premises of the National Assembly, precisely the Senate, where they are set to be screened, confirmed, and subsequently they will be decorated and sworn in by President Bola Tinubu.
I'm telling you, the man told you. Money.
I'm a journalist.
All right, so these are the pictures. You should get familiar with these names because these are your new service chiefs, Nigerians, wherever you're watching from around the world. Perhaps I should run through again their names. On the left, extreme left on your screen, there you have General Olufemi Oluyede. He's the Chief of Defense Staff. We have General Waidi Shaibu as the Chief of Army Staff, Rear Admiral Idi Abbas as the Chief of Naval Staff, and Air Vice Marshal Kennedy Aneke as the Chief of Air Staff. And then, of course, we have Major General Emmanuel Odiyandeye from Cross River States being retained as the Chief of defense intelligence. So there you go, your new service chiefs, the top 4-5 men as regards Nigeria's security architecture. Get familiarized. You have to familiarize yourself with these names or get familiar with these names because they are your new service chiefs, and any moment from now they will be sworn in. And that is, of course, after the confirmation screening by the Senate, which will happen any moments from now. We have our eyes and ears on ground right there at the Senate, where our correspondent Gloria Mezeke will keep giving us live updates as we get them. All right. So that's our lead story this hour. It's a big day indeed for Nigeria's security architecture. We'll bring you up to speed with developments as soon as we have them. But let's perhaps just get some perspectives now, as we're joined by security experts and the MD and CEO of The Breeze, who joins us live on the program. Mr. Dickson Osajie joins us live on the program. Thank you indeed, Dr. Dickson, for agreeing to talk to us. The notice was short, and yet you answered our call. Perhaps I should start by asking you what key security questions the Senate should be asking these newly appointed service chiefs.
Thank you very much, Kelly. First of all, I want to use this opportunity to congratulate the new service chiefs that have been appointed by the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, President Bola Tinubu. And, you know, most times we think that when new service chiefs come on board, it's a time to have new strikers, you know, to protect the territorial integrity of our great nation, Nigeria. And we'll use this medium to also appreciate the past service chiefs who put their lives on the line to protect the territorial integrity of Nigeria, right from their youthful age, having put in over 35 years of service. And I think they deserve to be honored. And when I read on papers that the president sacked service chiefs, I think that the disservice to them, you know, they've been resigned from service, and they've done so well on their own part to protect the territorial integrity of Nigeria and also manage the multidimensional security threat bedeviling Nigeria. Here we have the new service chiefs on board and presently at the National Assembly, and I think the Senate will be asking them what they are bringing on board, what they are going to do for the Nigerian state, and also having assessed the security threat bedeviling Nigeria and also the societal threat bedeviling Nigeria from the east, west, south, and north. What are they coming to do differently? Because since 1999, when we, you know, emerged into democracy, we've seen a lot of service chiefs who've come on board and promised that they are going to assist to, you know, bring Nigeria to a state of positive peace. Right now, this present service chief, what are they bringing on board? Have they carried out an assessment of the geopolitical zone, and also assess the multidimensional threats bedeviling Nigeria? What do they think they'll do differently from the past service chiefs? Are they coming as new champions? Are they coming to, you know, mitigate the threat, eliminate the threat? Are they coming also to stop the killing of our soldiers and officers? Because I tell you, Kelly, it's not acceptable anywhere in the world, the rate in which these terrorist guys are killing our officers and men as if they are killing just ordinary chickens. You know, you can't train an officer so hard, train a soldier so hard, and allow them to die cheaply. So the Senate must ask them, are you ready to protect your men? Are you ready to protect the officers and men? What are the force protection mechanisms they are bringing on board? Because it's not all about, you know, sending our officers and men to go and die for the country. What measures, what mechanical measures, tactical measures, operational measures do you have in place to ensure that these guys are well protected, which we call force protection? So in the area of force protection, they need to tell the Senate what they are going to do to protect the soldiers, because the military, you like it or not, Kelly, is our last hope of defense. And that is why every country needs to build the capability, the capacity of their military so that the country will stand. So for me, I think I will use this meeting to welcome them and let them tell us what they're going to do differently from the outgoing service chief. And I'll use this opportunity to congratulate them and also congratulate the Nigerian Army, Nigerian Navy, Nigerian Air Force, and every officers and men fighting in the front line to protect Nigeria. They deserve our salutation, and I humbly salute them.
Dr. Osajie, the motive behind this reshuffling has been questioned by many Nigerians. I remember the previous administration of, the late Muhammadu Buhari, Nigerians clamored, called, begged for service chiefs to be reshuffled. And the president never took on that decision until, when Nigerians had even given up, was when he now decided to do that reshuffling. So the motive has been questioned. There are those who are also questioning why retain, or in fact, why promote the former chief of army staff to now the chief of defense staff, General Olufemi Oluyede, who I understand is now going to become a 4-star general, and then relieve the others of their duties. I like the fact that you have also spoken about the semantics regarding their relief. Was it a sack? Were they fired? Were they forced to retire and all of that? So the motive is questioned, but let's stick to the fact that why retain or promote one person and then relieve the others of their duties? Because people have questioned, is it because, some 16 soldiers somewhere were detained or arrested?
Fantastic question, Kelly. The President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria has the power to fire and hire. He can fire service chiefs in the first 6 months if they are not performing. What matters most to the President is the territorial integrity of Nigeria, maintaining the territorial integrity of the country, ensuring the security of lives and property, and also ensuring that Nigerians are not being killed any day, anytime, anywhere by this criminal element bedeviling our nation from the east, west, south, and north. So the President himself, as the #1 citizen, has a lot of intelligence from the military, from the police, from the DSS, and other parastatals, because every morning, I think, I usually have this money brief, and every information that is detrimental to the survival of his government, he has it at his disposal. And every information that is, useful for the promotion of peace and unity in Nigeria, he also has it, his disposal. So for me, I don't want to go by the rumor mill, because if we go by the rumor mill, it's going to cause a lot of issues within the security agency. But sometimes, as security professionals, some people usually say that there is no smoke without fire. So for me, going by the rumor mill, I think something transpired or something went wrong somewhere that is left for the presidency to address the country. And I tell you, if perhaps or truly there is a premeditated or a planned coup d'etat to overturn his government, Nigeria, the whole Nigerian the duty to inform us, and we need to know if truly that happened, because the whole essence of us knowing is for the people to stand by democracy, stand by the president, stand for the country, so that we don't go back to military era. Let's remain in the democratic era and see how we build and develop our country. Then in the area of resigning one and retaining one, just like a football match, Kelly, you cannot resign all your players. You know the best strikers you need to bring on board and the ones you take off. So for me, it has been a tradition and a culture that whenever 3 service chiefs are going, they all go in line with maybe the DIA or some of the intelligence agency. But the president, in his own prerogative, saying that, okay, he wants to retain the intelligence officer, fine for him. If the intelligence officer is doing so well, getting information from the criminal element and from the enemies, then, bringing it before the president to ensure that Nigeria remains safe and protected, fine for him. Then in the area of General Oluyede, the one that has been promoted to the chief of defense staff, personally, I see him as a very gallant officer, and he has done so well as the chief of army staff. Remember, he took over from late General Lagbaja of blessed memory, and his tenure I don't think he has been up to 2 years as service chief. That might be one of the reasons the president said, oh, you just came on board, and you're an active service chief, so let's make him a general in charge of the CDS, or the chief of defense staff. That is left to the president to decide. So for us as citizens and as security professionals in this country, what matters most is maintaining of peace and stability, ensuring that these service chiefs don't just come, as a normal, parade and, just go there and nothing changes. We need to see changes from day one, changes in the area of his officers and men, because the first priority of the service chief is to maintain and, motivate his officers and men. Because if you are not motivated, Kelly, I don't think you'll be able to go to the battlefield to be chasing or pursuing the enemies you never formed or created, because our soldiers, our officers are doing extremely well, putting their life on the line to protect this country, Nigeria. And I think the first priority of the service chief is to ensure that they are well motivated, financially motivated, morally motivated, and in the area of, allowances, give them good allowances, because Kelly, I must tell you live that our soldiers in the battlefield, I don't think they are collecting up to 50,000 naira per month in chasing this enemy, fighting this enemy day in, day out. So this service chief should come in on board and ensure that their morale is well, they are well motivated, the officers and men are well motivated, have an effective protection mechanism in place.
I'm not sure I heard you well. Perhaps you can give us that information again. You say the average Nigerian soldier, you're not sure, receives up to 50,000 naira a month?
It's an extra allowance, not their salary. You know, when you're in the battlefield, let me tell you something, Kelly. Yeah, for you to put your life on the line to protect your country, there is no amount of money that is too big to pay you. Do you know what it takes to put your life on the line? Do you know how many soldiers and officers have been killed by these terrorists? So what I'm saying is that this service chief, they must ensure that from the least soldier to the officers, everybody must be well taken care of. Go in, meet the president, tell them to review the salary. Have them review their salaries, also review their risk allowances. You know, you can't just go to the front line every day, day in, day out, leave your wife and children at home, chasing the enemy from the east, west, and north, and at the end of the month, you are being paid peanuts. I am giving you that, I'm telling you the truth, that I am so sure that the extra allowance they are paying these soldiers in the battlefield every month is not more than 50 or 60,000 naira. And that is less than $40. How will you put your life on the line and you are paying such risk allowance? So they should create a platform, have a risk allowance for these officers and men in the battlefield, give them good measures to live, and ensure that they are well protected before they can also protect us as Nigerians. Because if you don't protect those who are protecting us, then you leave them vulnerable. They keep on dying, and that's why most times when this enemy attack comes, they tend to run away from the enemy. So let's just try and see how we can ensure that Nigeria is protected, and the service chief should inform the Senate that they are here to protect the territorial integrity of Nigeria. They are also here to take care of the welfare of its officers and men, which is very, very important, Kelly, because those who put their life on the line to protect Nigeria must be taken care of.
Every time I hear you speak about Nigeria's security architecture and how you get to clamor for improved welfare of these men who put their lives on the line, you do it with so much passion and commitment. But let's take a breather. When we come back, we will continue this conversation, because Mr. President says this shake-up, according to him, is part of efforts to strengthen the national security architecture of Nigeria. But then again, when I see that the Senate is asking for expeditious consideration, I'm wondering if it's just a matter of take a bow and leave. Mr. Senate President, we're back in just a moment. Please stay with us. Welcome back to the program, everyone. This is Lunchtime Politics, and our focus today is Nigeria's security architecture. Precisely the fact that we do have newly appointed service chiefs who are right now at the National Assembly. They are set to be confirmed, screened, and possibly be decorated and sworn in by Mr. President later in the day. It's a big, big day, and we'll bring you up to speed with all of the updates as we have them from the nation's capital. Dr. Dickson Osajie is a security expert and CEO, Debris Protection Services Limited. He has been with us on the program. Thank you so much, Dr. Osajie, for staying with us. I'm just wondering, perhaps, you know how the Senate and the Senate President, Godswill Akpabio, has the knack for asking nominees to just take a bow and leave. And then when the president writes to the Senate also asking for expeditious, quote, expeditious consideration, I'm sure many Nigerians will be waiting to just see the service chief just take a bow and leave. Is that so?
Well, that has been a tradition, but that's not correct, because I don't think that should be practiced or that should be practicable. When you bring in officers and men to come and, take charge of the security design and security architecture of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, you need to question them. It's not about taking a bow and go. They are not coming to come and, become one or two, maybe fashion designers. These are service chiefs. These are people that have been entrusted to protect the lives and properties of Nigerians. And you need to question them, their background, question where they're coming from, question their, characters, question their, their discipline while in service, and also question what they need to bring on board or what are they going to do from the tactical perspective. And that's why the Senate needs to also try to carry out an assessment before inviting these guys. It's not about, getting a letter from the presidency and you just want to, approve it. It's not done that way. What you need to question them. You need to ask them, intensive question and let them tell us the reason why the insecurity, the state of insecurity is still on the high rise in Nigeria. Even before they became service chief, what have they done in their previous command and control? What have they done while they were brigadier generals, they were major generals? What have they done in their various commands? You understand? Having asked them that question, they need to also tell us what tactical disposition are they bringing on board. Because I tell you, Kelly, one of the major challenges we've been having within this terrorist group and why they are killing our soldiers so cheaply is the area of tactical disposition. Sometimes you don't leave a soldier to stay in the battlefield for more than a given number of time. I've seen that our soldiers, our officers, sometimes spend 3-4 years in the battlefield. The Senate should be able to ask this service chief: are you going to leave your men in the battlefield for 3 years? Are you going to leave them for 4 years? Someone who gained an admission into a university is done with his BSc certificate after 4 years. Then you put a soldier on the line in the battlefield for 4 years. That is a tactical error and mechanical error as well. So let us know. These officers and men in the battlefield, ensure that they don't spend more than 9 months in the battlefield. Let them come back home and reunite with their family. They have wives at home, they have children. Come back home, reunite with the family. Maybe after like 2 years more or 3 years more or a year later, you can take them back. But leaving a soldier in the battlefield stretch for 3-4 years is a tactical error. It's a tactical error and an intentional error from my own perspective. It's a wrong. It's not done anywhere in the world. These soldiers, sometimes when attack comes, they tend to run away. Let me tell you that the battle begins from the mind. If you don't know when you are going back home while you are in the battlefield, when the enemy attack comes or when the enemy comes with a high firepower, you tend to withdraw because you don't have the agility to respond. Because, hey, why am I fighting? When am I going back home? So they should be able to question them from the area of tactical disposition, and also what technological application are they bringing in place to ensure that our soldiers don't come under attack from these criminal elements. Because I see it very, very uncalled for how these terrorists take attack to our military base, successfully dismantle our military base, go back to their shelter and relax. What are the technological measures you have in place to be able to, ascertain crime in progress or attack in progress, to see the enemy from afar while they are coming? Then you lay an ambush and clear all of them and wipe them off from the surface of the earth. So let them tell us the tactical measures and the mechanical measures and also the technological measures. I just got back from Louisiana last 2 weeks where I went for a global security conference, and I was privileged to visit the World War II museum. I saw great officers and men. You have Jalapel, you have that dog chain, about 1.4 million officers and men who fought in the World War II. They were being honored. Now, these are our officers and men that are fallen or those that were killed by Boko Haram, terrorists, bandits. What are the measures put in place to honor these officers and men? Do we have a museum where we can visit to go and check their dog chain and ensure that these guys are being honored? Are their family being taken care of? Do you take care of their children? Do you send them to school? So what are the motivational aspects for these officers and men? So this is what we need to know from this new service chief. Not just come in on board and go and sit down there and things go back to normal. And also the salaries and welfare of our soldiers, like rightly said, must be revisited, because for you to put your life on the line, Kelly, I know you, Kelly, you look so handsome, right? Seeing you from here, you won't want to die so cheap. So these guys, they put their life on the line. So whoever puts his life on the line to protect his country, first of all, must be highly motivated and also well taken care of.
Dr. Osajie,
let them tell us what tactical measures are they putting in place and technological measures they are putting in place, so that our soldiers and men, officers and men, don't train hard and die cheap.
We have to round off our conversation with you now. I just need to mention to our viewers as well that this screening and confirmation was supposed to take place next week, but it was brought forward to today. I understand it's because of the urgency for these newly appointed service chiefs to assume duties. But maybe finally, before I let you go, because these rumors of alleged or attempted coup is gaining so much grounds. In fact, the opposition, African Democratic Congress, is calling for greater transparency. But it has worked in some African countries. Isn't that so? Burkina Faso and a few others in the continent, Myanmar outside the continent. Can it work in Nigeria. There are those who say, look, perhaps we needed to reset this country.
All right. The coup d'etat can work anywhere because the military has the power, they have the capability to overrun any government they want to overrun if they plan it very effectively, which we as citizens, we do not call for. It has worked in the Niger Republic, Burkina Faso, and other Sahel region. And the question we should be asking ourselves, why coup d'etat? Is it that the civilian government or democracy is not working for the country? So for you to start telling us that, okay, some people have been arrested or there are some rumor mills that some officers and men have been arrested, they're in jail because they want to carry out coup. As a criminologist, I'm not concerned about that. What I'm concerned about is the causative factors. Why did they want to carry out this coup? If it's true, then that is where the presidency should start looking at, okay, for these people to have premeditated or to have planned to carry out a coup, what is the reason? Is it that we're not protecting the country very well, we're not doing well for the nation, for the people? Is it that things or the economy is very tough? Then work on those areas that will ensure that our officers and men are well taken care of and the Nigerian people are well taken care of. Put in measures and policies in place. No country strive without policies. Effective policies will drive the economy, will drive the security design, the security architecture. Effective policy and procedures will ensure that things goes well. And when we talk about security management, it has to do with the people, the procedures and policies, and the technology. So the president and the government or national security advisor should assess what went wrong or what led to the, to the plan coup and ensure that they address that area to foster a futuristic coup d'etat. If they don't address that area and they just say life goes on, I tell you for free, 1 or 2 officers tomorrow might emerge and say, hey, we need to emancipate Nigeria from this democratic nonsense.
Well, there are those who would perhaps argue with you that it's not possible for a coup to work in present-day Nigeria because they say in time past, Dr. Osajie, it was easier because, I mean, we had just 1 or 2 radio stations and it was easier for the military to, gain access to those media platforms and then just get to send that narrative to across the country. But let's leave it here and hope that these service chiefs get to deliver on the promises of Mr. President, revamp the security architecture, and put an end indeed, or perhaps curb to the barest minimum some of the issues on ground. But we must thank our conversation with you at this hour, criminologist, security expert, CEO, the Breeze Protection Services Limited, Dr. Dickson Osajie. Thank you indeed for your time on the program.
Thank you very much for having me. God bless Nigeria.
All right, so it's a big day. We have our eyes and ears right there in the nation's capital where these service chiefs will be screened and confirmed any moments from now. You have to stay here on Channel TV because we have all the live updates for you. That's the show, everyone. Thank you indeed for watching. On behalf of the production team and everyone here, I am Kelly Egiga, and you have just been served on Lunchtime Politics. Good afternoon.